Hey there and welcome. Today, we're diving into the secret science behind something we all know and love, that perfect creamy head on a freshly poured beer. You know, it's not just there for looks, it's this incredible performance of physics and chemistry. So let's get into it. You know that feeling, right? You pour one beer and get this thick, beautiful, long-lasting foam, but the next one just goes flat almost instantly. What's going on there? Well, I can tell you it's not just luck, and it's definitely not random. The answer is this really fascinating story that's all about science. So yeah, that foam, it's way more than just a pretty face. It actually affects the aroma, the flavor, and even the way the beer feels in your mouth. It's a super active, really essential part of the whole experience. So today, we're gonna play detective and uncover the secrets of how that foam is born, what keeps it alive, and yeah, what can kill it. Okay, so our story starts at the very, very beginning, with the birth of a single bubble. This is a process that kicks off at a microscopic level, way before you even see any foam at all. Let's follow one of these bubbles on its incredible journey from a hidden little crevice all the way to the top of your glass. So, there's a fancy scientific word for this: nucleation. Now, in a perfectly, impossibly smooth glass, the CO2 in beer would just stay dissolved. But that's not what happens. Beer bubbles need a little help to get started, something called heterogeneous nucleation. Basically, it just means bubbles can't pop into existence out of thin air. They need a trigger. So where does that trigger come from? You might be surprised. It's the glass itself. See, every single pint glass, no matter how clean it looks, is covered in microscopic scratches and little crevices. These tiny imperfections trap little pockets of gas when the beer is poured. And those pockets act as the seeds, or nuclei, for every single bubble that eventually builds up that foam. Okay, this diagram looks super technical, I know, but the key thing to take away from all the research is actually pretty simple. Not all scratches are created equal. The perfect little bubble nursery is a steep, cone-shaped cavity, just like the ones you see described here. That specific shape is just what you need to trap a gas pocket and create a stable spot for bubble after bubble to form and get released. All right, so once a bubble starts to form, it's basically in this epic little tug of war. You've got the upward force of buoyancy trying to push it free to let it float up. But at the same time, you've got the force of surface tension acting like a sticky anchor, holding it down to the glass. It's only when the bubble grows big enough for buoyancy to finally win that fight that it breaks free and starts its trip to the top. Okay, so our bubble has won the battle. It's broken free and is zipping up to the surface. But this is where the chemistry really kicks in. I mean, a bubble is just a super thin film of liquid wrapped around a pocket of gas. By itself, it would pop almost instantly. So what on earth is giving beer foam its structure and all that staying power? And check this out. This study of 30 different beers gives us our biggest clue. Just look at the trend here. On the left, you've got foam life, and on the right, you've got protein content. See how they match up? The beers with the longest lasting foam, especially those all malt ones on the far right, they consistently have the most protein. The takeaway is pretty clear. Proteins are foam's best friend. But it's not just one hero, it's a team up, a real dynamic duo for your beer. The key players are these things called hydrophobic polypeptides, those are the proteins from the malted grain, and iso-alpha acids, which are the bitter compounds that come from hops. They are the absolute Batman and Robin of beer foam. So, how does this team up actually work? Well, those proteins are hydrophobic, which is just a sciencey way of saying they hate water. So their first impulse is to get away from the liquid. And where do they go? Straight to the surface of the bubble. Once they're there, they link up with the hop acids, and together they form this elastic, reinforced skin. It's like they're building a tiny, flexible suit of armor around the bubble, this molecular scaffolding that makes it way stronger and much harder to pop. And the dream team doesn't stop there. There's a whole supporting cast. You can see proteins and hop bitterness are right at the top, of course, but look what else helps. Higher viscosity, basically a thicker beer, slows down how fast the foam drains. Polyphenols from the malt and hops also chip in. And kind of surprisingly, even certain metal ions like potassium and magnesium can help strengthen those molecular links. And you know what? There's this really cool side effect to all that strong molecular scaffolding. As you drink your beer, the foam doesn't just collapse, it actually sticks to the side of the glass. That beautiful pattern that sticks around as you drink, that's called lacing or cling. And now you know what causes it. It's a sign of a really well-built, stable foam. All right, but for every hero, there's gotta be a villain, right? This brings us to the other side of the story. If you've got foam heroes, you've also got foam villains. So let's talk about the common culprits that can just destroy a perfect head of foam before you even get a chance to enjoy it. Okay, here they are. Public enemy number 1, lipids. That's any kind of fat or oil, could be from food you're eating, could even be lipstick on the rim of the glass. Next up, detergents from a glass that wasn't rinsed well enough. Alcohol itself is also a bit of a foam killer, which is why really strong beers sometimes have a harder time holding a good head. And finally, some enzymes can break down those all-important proteins. So why are these things so bad for foam? What are they actually doing? Well, it's all about surface chemistry. In what they call a beer-clean glass, those helpful proteins can do their job, no problem. But if there's even a tiny bit of oil or soap residue on the glass, those molecules just barge right in and wreck that protein hop scaffolding. They weaken the bubble wall and cause it to pop almost immediately. This is why having a truly clean glass is the single most important thing for getting good foam. So now that we know the heroes and the villains, we can finally see the big picture. And the brewer? Well, they're the director of this whole show. Creating great foam isn't an accident at all. It's a whole series of very deliberate choices, all based on the science we've been talking about. It's not guesswork. A good brewer has a strategy, and it looks something like this. First, they pick the right grains, like wheat or specific barley malts that are known to be packed with those foam-positive proteins. Second, they add just the right amount and type of hops to get those isoalpha acids. Third, they are absolutely obsessive about cleanliness to keep those foam-killing lipids out. And finally, they make sure the carbonation is just right to supply all the gas that fuels this magnificent process. So the next time you pour a beer and watch that beautiful cascade of bubbles rising in the glass, you'll know you're not just looking at foam. You're watching bubbles being born in microscopic nurseries. You're seeing a tiny battle between buoyancy and surface tension, and you're witnessing a molecular team-up of proteins and hops building this beautiful, stable structure right before your eyes. You're literally watching science in action. So what will you see in your next beer? Cheers!